And we're live. Sorry, I'm a little bit tardy. I wanted to make sure that I got all the information that I need to get to present to you all for this exit strategy conversation. So I wanted to make sure that I got all the information that I need to get. Well, audio's working. Hold up, let me silence this. There we go. What's up, Creole? So yeah, I wanted to we're a little bit late. I apologize, but I wanted to make sure that I gathered all the information. I had to go back in Google Drive and pull up these documents and pull all this stuff up so I could present to you all today. So we'll get started here in a minute. Looks like we're trading at about 37,000 for Bitcoin. We're still in this capitulation phase, and we may be for a while, and we'll get to that. Hold on. Drinking a little red wine tonight. It's been a long week. It's just been it's been a really long week, y'all. Not just with the market, with everything. It's been a week. Okay. Okay. So here are a few things that I'm going to go over in this first portion of this. We're going to talk about setting targets and sticking to them. So how this topic came to be tonight, someone in the Discord, they asked for us to cover exit strategies and exit plans. So again, I'm going to keep this high level, but I do have a pretty great playlist that I will release once I finish this, and I'll have a link below in the description. I highly, highly, highly recommend watching every single video in this playlist in regards to exit strategies. We also have a playlist on cryptocurrency taxes as well, right? So I'll link that below as well once Creole and I will finalize that and link that below. So some things we're going to go over is setting targets and sticking to them, dollar cost averaging out, multiple exchanges, having access and accounts with multiple exchanges, and paying attention to the exchanges that crash, right? I don't know about y'all, but during this Bitcoin dump, I went on just about every single crypto app that I have. I'm talking from Celsius to crypto.com to Gemini to Coinbase, Kraken, all this stuff crashed. So again, hopefully everybody was paying attention to that. Whatever exchanges you use, if they weren't working, that's something to pay attention to and have contingency plans for, right? Personal cryptocurrency brokerage firm. I'll talk about that here in a little second. taxes, and if I die plan. So we'll circle back around to that. So first thing I want to show you, Digital Asset News on YouTube. His channel is great, and over the years, he's been sharing some very good resources. Here is, and again, this video where he goes over this, we'll have in the playlist, but this is kind of his strategy, or how he goes about building an exit strategy plan. As you can see, he has a sell point, percent to be sold, amount sold, and profit, right? And I will link to his YouTube and also to this document in the description, but something to look into. And I'm going to show you my personal, is very outdated. So doing this episode made me realize that I really need to go back and update everything in my Excel exit sheet, but I'll show you that here in a second. So there's that. Digital Asset News, he also has another document, exchange fees. So this is another important thing to note, is look at all these exchanges, some of the most popular exchanges that people use, understanding, really understanding your withdrawal limits, or your sell limits, or anything to that nature. So for example, Cash App. Now he says he won't use it. I personally like using Cash App. I think it's really easy to use, to dollar cost average in. I have an auto in on Bitcoin every single week. I'm buying Bitcoin, right? But one thing with Cash App is there's like a $2,000 daily limit withdrawal. So, I mean, just for example, say you have 10 grand and you need 10 grand worth of Bitcoin in Cash App, and you need to move that to another exchange, you can only withdraw $2,000 of that a day. So you cash out $2,000 on Monday, you have to wait a full 24 hours to cash out another 2,000. There's also a weekly, a matter of fact, let me pull it up right now. Because again, it's stuff like this you may tend to not think about, but this can really mess you up, especially in a volatile sell-off that we just saw, or a parabolic run-up, if you're not prepared and thinking about this kind of stuff. So I'm in my Cash App right now. So the withdrawal limit per week is $5,000. Okay, so again, whatever you're using to purchase your crypto or your Bitcoin, make sure you go through and know the ins and outs of limits, purchase limits, withdrawal limits, all that kind of stuff. Another thing was Celsius, while we're on the topic. And again, this will mess you up if you don't think about this stuff ahead of time. Celsius, for you to send your cryptocurrency to another wallet, it takes a full 24 hours before you are able to withdraw that crypto and send it to that wallet. So, for example, I have $1,000 in Celsius and I want to send that to my Exodus wallet. That address that I send to it, I don't know, not verify, but before you're able to send it to that address, you have to wait 24 hours before Celsius will allow you to send it to that address. Okay, so again, if there's a massive sell-off and you haven't already connected that address, you're going to have to wait 24 hours before you're able to send that crypto to said address, right? So again, very important things that you have to consider during these crazy times. So again, I'll link this below. And again, credit to Digital Asset News on YouTube. Moving forward. So I cannot remember the YouTuber who shared this Excel sheet. So first, all of these numbers are made up. Okay, it's not reflective of my holdings. Okay. But I'm going to try to go back and find this guy who shared this and give him credit for this Excel sheet. But basically, again, it's a similar concept. You input your coin, your symbol, the quantity that you have, and the target sell price that you have. And over here, so if you wanted to cash 30% out of your ADA holding, you would get $708, and that cash out would be 600 ADA at a price target of $1.18. I hope that made sense. I think I went through that a little bit. Creole, good vibes, 24 hours. Yep, that 24 hours can be a killer if you're not watching out. So let's just say I change this to 2 Bitcoin. You'll see how it just changed that across the board, right? And let's say we were hearing about a $500,000 Bitcoin. If you're in a Discord, you know what video we're talking about. So 2 Bitcoins at $500,000 cashing out, 80% of that would be $825,000. So again, building these Excel sheets, I know I was talking with Creole at one point. Creole is a wizard with Excel sheets. And I told him months ago that he should create our own UTG exit plan Excel sheet. So hopefully he's listening and we'll get on that. But again, super cool tool. I was going to say I'll leave a link to this in the description, but let me try to figure out who to give credit for this. Okay. So next I want to go over, now this is a little preview of our Discord. We've had some people again trickle in. Super happy to have you. Like I said, we have a lot of fun in this Discord. And so if you want information and you want to hear what we're thinking in real time, join the Discord. That's the quickest way to get information and resources and to hear our opinions on topics. But Creole shared this, and also giving credit here to Altcoin Daily. He talked about this months ago, I believe. Okay, there we go. So this is where we kind of get into the dollar cost averaging out conversation. So I'm going to go through this, okay? Both altcoiners spent $10K accumulating altcoins in 2016. Altcoiner A, at $10,000, believes crypto will be a big part of the future. Altcoiner B believes crypto is an emerging market where we can make lots of money. Altcoiner A, his altcoins did a 10x in Satoshi value. During this time, BTC has 3x in dollar value. He now has $300,000. He sells 10%. Altcoiner B, his altcoins did a 10x in Satoshi value. During this time, BTC has 3x in dollar value. He now has $300,000. He sells almost all of it. Altcoiner A, he keeps selling 10% of his remaining altcoins as Bitcoin does another 10x. He now has a few $1 million. Altcoiner B, he's upset he sold too early, so he's buying the dips near the top. Altcoiner A. He keeps selling 10% of his altcoins as they do another 10x in Satoshi value. He now has double-digit millions. Altcoiner B, he could have been a multi-millionaire. He's trying to make millions by buying ICOs at the peak of the ICO bubble. At first, it seems he's doing well. Forgive me. Altcoiner A, he's realized he can achieve financial freedom and decides to retire with millions of dollars. He still holds tons of altcoin that go negative 95% and loses a few $1,000,000 worth of altcoins, but it hardly makes a dent in all the gains he realized. Altcoiner B, he holds most of his altcoins as they go negative 95% through the bear market. He ends up with a couple $100,000 and thinks he's a genius. Okay, so in short, and I'll leave a link to Altcoin Daily's his perspective on this. But basically, this is a balancing act, right? And here this did another 10x, did another 10x, did another 10x, right? And he takes out Altcoiner A. He realized those gains bit by bit, right? Dollar cost averaging out, essentially. So he's still in the game for that parabolic run, but he is realizing gains at the same time. He is taking that profit. We should really all try to mimic Altcoiner A. Altcoiner A had the better plan here. So again, it's a balancing act. It's about taking profits. But also keeping yourself in the game as well for, you know, that extra parabolic run or whatever happens, right? So really, really cool, I guess, exit plan, kind of walk through here. Moving on. Okay, so before I get to Pomp, let's go back here. So setting targets is very important, that you set a target. As I said in the Discord, Creole and I, we set around a $2 ADA price, ADA target for us to take a little bit of profit. That was one of our goals. It wasn't a large amount, but that was the target. We took a little bit out, we stuck to it, and we realized those gains. And it's also, I think one thing that gets people is the greed. So you have to stick, it's important to stick to the targets that you make, because, you know, something like this past week can happen and you lose out on those gains temporarily, right? So set your targets, right? Set your targets and stick to them. That really is the best way, in my opinion. Dollar cost averaging out. I'm really big on this. So I have numbers in my head of, I'm going to take a little bit out here. We go up some more. I'm going to take a little bit out here. I'm not trying to time the top. I'm just going to trickle some money out bit by bit as the market recovers and as we continue into the bull run. Multiple exchanges, paying attention to exchanges that crash. Every single one of us on Wednesday, we should have been opening up every single app, seeing what's going on, seeing where the lag has happened, seeing what's crashed, seeing what app wouldn't even load. Crypto.com, Celsius, those wouldn't even load for me, right? So having contingency plans in place for that type of scenario. And let me also mention another thing. It's also important as things get so congested during those moments. It's important to have, in my opinion, non-financial advice opinion, and others would probably disagree with me here, but it's important to have a little bit of dry powder sitting on an exchange, right? So you're not waiting for, so for example, Darwinia ring on a massive sale was at 5 cents. It would have been great to already have that money sitting on the exchange to purchase those assets that I wanted to purchase, whether it's Fala at 60 something cents, right? So being prepared in that way, having money sitting on the exchange just in case, having your limit orders. I'm super big on limit orders. Limit orders are clutch. Do not sleep on setting limit orders, okay? Having your limit orders in, having some dry powder just sitting on the exchange so you can trade if there's a flash crash or whatever that is. Being prepared in that way will help you in the long run. Creole, I'll create spreadsheet when we get to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, deal. Next, something that Creole and I have been considering is building a relationship and possibly opening an account with a personal cryptocurrency brokerage firm. So in short, because I'm not going to speak too much on this as I'm still doing my research, but in short, you can open an account with a personal cryptocurrency brokerage firm and initiate trades, put in your sales, put in your buys through a private crypto brokerage firm, right? So you're able to skip all the widely used mainstream exchanges and go directly to people you can call up or email and say, let's initiate XYZ. So something to consider. I'm looking more into that. I'm the type of person I like to have a plan A, B, and C if possible. For example, going into taxes, Creole and I have someone we work with, a professional crypto tax professional that we work with, and having that relationship, it just takes so much weight off of your shoulders, right? So having an account at a cryptocurrency brokerage firm would probably give me that same feeling of just knowing that I have that in my back pocket, right? So taxes, another thing to consider. I personally think it's, awesome to at least maybe have a consultation with a crypto, let's be specific, a crypto tax professional. I know there's a lot of software out here. I know the portfolio management system that I use, they have a lot of tax tools, but it's nothing quite comparable to talking to someone who is a professional in that field, having a face to talk to, someone with experience who can give you the game. So, and also when you're cashing your crypto out, thinking about putting that 30 some odd % aside to pay those taxes, right? So be very aware of that kind of stuff. Make sure you're putting money aside for taxes. Do a lot of research on that. Again, we'll have a playlist listed below for that. And 6, I thought I would mention this because I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talk about this, but what if you die? In the words of Creole, what if a meteorite hits you out of nowhere? What is the contingency plan that is in place for that scenario? I mean, if you have $5 million or $10 million worth of crypto and then you croak over one day, do your parents know how to access that crypto? Do they even know that that crypto exists? Does your wife or does your husband know how to access that crypto? Do they know the passwords? Do they know the 12-word keys? Right? Nine Life Media, is the BTC bull market over? In my opinion, no. And I'm about to talk about that. I have data and analytics to really kind of prove that we're just in a capitulation phase right now. So Nine Life, if you hold on for about 60 seconds, I'm going to read an article that we'll talk about that question, okay? But to finishing up, if I die plan, start thinking about this stuff. If you if you fucking croak over, I mean, is your crypto just, is no one going to be able to utilize that crypto? Have those plans in place. Make sure someone you extremely, extremely, extremely trust. There's also companies and agencies that help with this sort of planning, right? You can have it in your will and like all kinds of stuff. There's resources out there that will help you figure that out. But, you know, make sure you have copies of your passwords and of your keys somewhere in a remote location that no one can get to easily, right? But also make sure your parents know that you have crypto, or your child, or, you know, have those plans in place, because you never know, a meteorite could hit you. Okay, so moving forward, Nine Life Media, I see, sounds good. Thank you. All right, and we're about to get to that article right now. JS, DCAing in as prices drop. Yes, JS. And if you're in our Discord, I was saying I am dollar cost averaging into the dip, or into the dump rather, right? And so again, I always like to mention that this is my personal approach. If you don't feel comfortable, because, you know, I had someone call me and they were, you know, kind of like, you know, they're a new retail investor, well, a new investor into crypto. They haven't really experienced this sort of volatility. And I was like, you know, this is what I would do. But I also want to be sensitive to those who have not built that confidence in the market yet, and have seen the vision of crypto, right? So sometimes you got to be sensitive to that and be like, hey, do what's right with you. Do what is comfortable for you, because this is a wild space. And as I said in the Discord, if we drop more, I'm at peace with that. Okay. I say that a lot. I'm someone, I like to pay attention and see all possible outcomes and not be oblivious or overly optimistic. I know the potential outcomes, and if we drop lower, I'm at peace with that, because at the end of the day, I'm here for the long term, right? And I also know that I'm good if we drop, right? There was, of course, Elon tweeting again this past week about having diamond hands and all this stuff. And if you went through the thread, is people like, I put my whole life savings into this. How could you do this, Elon? My wife is about to leave me. I'm not going to see my kids, this, that, and the other. If any of that... And I understand, and I don't want to make light of anybody's suffering that may have happened in this dump. But if that's you to any degree, then you need to fully reevaluate what you're doing. If crypto goes to zero tomorrow, yes, it would suck. But I know that I personally would be okay. If you cannot say that, you need to reevaluate what you are doing. Period. Point blank. period. Paul DePetro, long game is moon, period. Short term is only an issue if you need the money you've invested now. Exactly, Paul. Have you heard of Chia, proof of space, proof of time? I have heard of that. I heard, I don't know if that was token metrics. I heard about that. I think it was token metrics. I haven't really looked into Chia, but I have heard about it. I'll look into it some more. Okay, so let's get to this article, non-life. I apologize. So again, the pomp letter. Again, if you are new to the space, this is the type of stuff that you have to be looking at. As I said in the Discord, OGs in this space will ring the alarm if they believe the top is here. Now, there have been some OGs who have been cautiously optimistic, and I respect that. It's important to not be all, rainbows and roses all the time in this market. So it's important to be cautious and to acknowledge those negative potential outcomes. But as I said in the Discord, OGs, the entire space, learned a lot from the 2018 bear market and the crash of 2018. So for me, I am paying attention to people like Anthony Pompliano. I'm paying attention to technical analysis, TA people within the space. I'm paying attention to people like Crypto Tips, Heidi and Toby over at Crypto Tips. I'm paying attention to the people who are paying attention to the data. Okay. I personally don't have a lot of time for that, but I'm in the circle where I'm in Patreon groups. I'm subscribed to newsletters. I'm in Discords. I'm subscribed to YouTube channels. So when the top is so-called declared, or there is a consensus in the community that we are entering the top territory, I will know. And there will be data to support that. So getting into this article, the pomp letter, who was buying and selling during this week's price crash? Okay, this is the stuff you have to be looking at. It's in the data. Due to recent events, I am assuming there are a lot of folks out here feeling a bit unnerved after Wednesday's price dump. Therefore, I decided to put together a deep dive into what actually happened from an on-chain perspective and how the bull market remains intact. I still stand 100% on the claim that the bull market still has a long way to go. There are several key takeaways from this letter. Exchange flows flipped bearish following the recent FUD. Coins that sold were young, many which were sold at a loss. The sudden price drop was driven by liquidations. Leverage is now wiped out. Coins sold are now in process of accumulation. Exchange flows are no longer bearish. The bull market remains intact. So I'm going to touch on a few points in this. But again, super interesting stuff. Highly recommend you read this article fully through. Okay. Wednesday's price drawdown was one of the largest capitulation liquidation events in Bitcoin's history. Looking at historical price drawdowns, this correction has been deeper than any of 2017 and is the largest bull market correction since the consolidation period between the 2013 double pumps. Okay. Play-by-play of the dip. In the time following the recent FUD surrounding Bitcoin, it appears many new market participants got freaked out and decided to sell. In the 4 days leading up to the dump, exchange flows turned clearly bearish, with exchanges having 59,000 59,313 plus BTC in just 4 days. Soon after, we began to see the descent down from the mid 50,000s to the low 40,000s. The problem was every time the market went lower, traders kept stepping in with leveraged longs in attempt to time the bottom. Wow. Going to bed Tuesday around 38 to 39K, I tweeted out, "Let's see a big liquidation wick." This was precisely why. Although I obviously didn't see the dip coming, I have been bullish the past few weeks. I think it was somewhat obvious that we were going to see a big liquidation wick once those traders kept trying to leverage long each dip. This was viewable through funding rates staying positive throughout the descent until Wednesday morning. But since the huge flush, funding rates have stayed negative. By the way, the fact that funding rates are still negative means majority of traders are short right now. And given that we haven't seen any major short liquidations, it is very possible that we are setting up for a pretty big short squeeze. If spot can push us up to initiate the cascade, of course, moving forward. During the flush, over 300 million in longs got liquidated within 10 minutes. Come on, y'all hearing me? During the flush, over 300 million in longs got liquidated within 10 minutes. This cascade of liquidations, aka the flush, was why the price drop was so rapid. And that's what a lot of us were really coming to a conclusion. It was just so drastic that it just had to be people being liquidated. Wow. In total, 9,408,072,338 of leverage has been wiped out peak to trough. During the dip, we saw real capitulation for the first time since March 2020. When a market capitulates, it tends to be an attractive time to buy at a discount. And, you know, that's, like I said, I'm buying. That's for me personally. I've heard a lot of, you know, especially OGs, seasoned investors, they are buying right now. Again, all of this is a must read, but for time, I'm going to skip a little bit. Creole, the bull market not over. Last bull run, there were a total of 630 plus drawbacks. This drawback is number 2 of the 2021 bull run. JS wrecked. Okay, last bit here. The last and arguably most important metric to fundamentally see why this is not the bottom is looking at pure on-chain volume at different price levels. At the end of bull markets, when there is a blow-off top, there is very little volume distribution. Over the last 2 to 3 months, there was a ton of volume in the 40 to 60K range, especially between 53 to 58K. Over 25% of supply has moved above 40K in total. Let's compare current distribution to 2017's top. This is what current on-chain volume distribution looks like. Okay, so take a look at this chart. This is what distribution looked like at the top in 2017. This is what distribution at the top of 2013 looked like. And just so y'all can really see that, y'all see that? Look how that differs from the top of 2017 and 2013. As you can see, distribution currently resembles nothing of a top, quite the opposite. I strongly believe we are in a mid-bull run consolidation. Non-Life Media, that was informative. Thanks. You're welcome, Non-Life. This is super important stuff, and I'll link this article in the description after the live. Okay. In conclusion, this event was unexpected from my perspective, but became obvious we were going to go further after seeing traders try to leverage long each dip. Come on, traders. We have a large leverage reset and wipeout of weak hands. At this point, it's just going to take some time for those young coins recently sold to find a new home, and find a new home they will. So again, this, going back to my point, OGs, they will be ringing the alarm. Okay, because this is this type of stuff. They are in these trenches looking at the data, looking at the analytics. So if you go over here to Glassnode, and again, this is not my expertise whatsoever. Again, I'm paying attention to the people who this is their expertise. I'm subscribed to those newsletters. I'm in the Patreons, XYZ. So Glassnode, look at all this stuff that people are analyzing. Okay. This on-chain analysis, ViewBase, another one. Look at all this. Well positions. And I think there's multiple sites that just track the movement of funds from wallet to wallet and all that kind of stuff, right? People who are in the trenches are watching this stuff like a hawk. So if you don't follow anyone within the space who is giving you this sort of information, that's the first thing you need to do within the next 24 hours is find people who this is what they do. They're looking at all this. Okay. So moving forward, we're going to get into some Polkadot stuff super quick, really. So Polkadot Decoded happened this week. It was very informative, at least what I was able to watch. Super cool. I think they had over like 20,000 people who registered for the event. So great turnout. So one thing, so in the live, they said that they would provide the conference and that footage on YouTube at some point. They said that they would provide it. I'm going to be 100%. I'm not even sure if Parachains is is a Polkadot like verified channel. For some reason I don't think it is, but if you go to Parachains YouTube, there are these clips of these presentations. I will say this. Where is it? Building a Chinese blockchain community from scratch. This was super, super interesting. My key takeaway, I know we're in this all China banning crypto and da-da-da-da-da. Y'all, China is going to lead the crypto industry and the Polkadot, the evolution of Polkadot and like these projects. I mean, she said some numbers that were very interesting in this. So don't sleep on this one. So yeah, you can come on here and see some clips. Again, I'm not sure if this is, a comprehensive posting of all those talks, but there's something for you to look at. Next, input output, Cardano. Cardano's Cardano's coming for number one. Y'all better watch out. So I'm gonna talk about a couple things here, and then I'm gonna go into an article about the ERC20 converter. So on May 20th, input output, to bank the unbanked, we need to connect the unconnected. Providing millions of users with digital ID wouldn't be possible without mobile connectivity. We're partnering with World Mobile Team to lay the infrastructure foundations in Tanzania and beyond. And the image says, this is not just DeFi, this is real fi. By providing people with the connectivity, by providing them with identity, we're actually going to see the real intention behind blockchain. Again, a lot of people like to brush Africa in these deals and what's going on here with IOHK and Africa to the side. We believe this is the bigger picture. While everybody is worrying about all this other stuff that a lot of people don't actually need, IOHK is bringing the real fi, right? So I can't tell y'all enough. Don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on it. Over here, Cardano Foundation, Fortune 500 companies. 900 companies are in the pipeline interested to work with Cardano. And they have a link here to the fireside chat. Y'all, Cardano's, they're coming for number one. And I thought I had pulled this up. There was one other thread here that I wanted to mention. Okay, yeah, here. So again, going through this is why Creole and we tend to get frustrated when people are like, and again, we've heard this throughout the years. What is Cardano doing? They're not doing anything. Charles has to prove himself. Da 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 da, right? Just go through this thread. And this is what we've been so frustrated with over the years, is people sleeping on Cardano. Look at the work. Look at the work. Come on. Come on. We're still scrolling. So, interesting thread. Highly recommend going through this. But let's move on to the ERC20 converter. So, I know some people, some YouTubers touched on this, but I want to really go into this article and read some highlights. And again, this was another thing that was frustrating over the past years when, hearing ETH heads, right? The kind of ETH maxis, just not understanding how easy Cardano is about to make all of this. So just listen to this. According to DeFi Pulse, a tracking website, cryptocurrency to a total value of over 75 billion is now locked up in DeFi. A year ago, the total was just 700 million. Most of this value is in the form of crypto assets based on the ERC20 token standard. But Ethereum's proof-of-work infrastructure is challenged with ever-rising costs. Let me say something, and I shared a screenshot of this in the Discord. I was planning to make a trade on Wednesday. It was going to be an Aave to follow trade. It was going to cost me over $2,000 in gas fees to make that trade. Like, you can't make it up. Like, I want to say it just never gets old, but it actually does get really, really old. It gets really, really old, and it's just out of control. Where was I? We foresaw this issue, and providing an alternative was one of the founding principles we set for Cardano. This is about to come into fruition. To expand the variety of use cases for application developers and businesses, Cardano will support the ERC20 token migration to its platform. The Alonzo hard fork and Plutus smart contracts are on the way. Once deployed, users of supported Ethereum tokens will be able to bring them over from Ethereum's congested network and take advantage of Cardano's transaction capacity and lower fees, while enjoying enhanced security, reduced costs, and interoperability. And let me also say enjoying enhanced user experience. I feel like they forgot to mention that one. Ibro M, ETH is painful. Can't wait to swap all my tokens. I hear you. And as I've said before, I personally, I hold ETH right now, but I have been and will continue to slowly move out of that position because I invest in things that I believe in. I'm really, that's really important to me, and a part of my investment thesis is investing in things that I believe in, and I do not believe in Ethereum. I don't. If you do, great. Not for me. I'll stick with Cardano and Polkadot. JS2K, yikes. Yes. I have the screenshot to prove it. Over $2,000 would have been that gas fee to make that trade. Insane. Unacceptable. Okay. Ethereum is a popular and functional blockchain platform, but it is slowly down. Wait a minute. Okay. It's about my bedtime, y'all. Okay, let me go back. Ethereum is a popular and functional blockchain platform, but it is slowing down and becoming more expensive as more network participants interact with decentralized applications. The gas fees paid for validating transactions are rising sharply. And indeed they are. Violently. They're rising violently, I think maybe would be a better word there. Figure 1, Ethereum gas fees are increasing. The problems being experienced by Ethereum users have also been identified by Cointelegraph survey cited in DeFi Adoption 2020. Quote, 45% of platforms built on Ethereum name scalability and high gas costs among the top 3 problems constraining mass DeFi adoption. Ethereum has not yet resolved these challenges and is unlikely to do so in the short term. So many businesses will want to consider other options. And as we know, I think this is, kind of changes here and there, but I think the expectation for actual scalability and implementing sharding on Ethereum won't happen until 2022, I believe. And that's allegedly, right? A lot of things are alleged in this space. So we'll see what happens with all that. We'll see how the timeline looks like with that. By enabling the migration of ERC20 tokens to Cardano, we focus on delivering a value proposition that leverages Cardano's advantages over Ethereum. In particular, Cardano's higher capacity for transaction processing and lower fees when compared with Ethereum's high cost and often congested traffic. Siyun Ojumu, and I apologize if I said that wrong. Ethereum is good. Cardano is great for now. Ibro M, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. ETH 1.0 was an complete project rush to market. Nice channel, by the way. Love the graphics design. I can see you going far. I'm out here in London watching you at 5:08 a.m. More good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the kind remarks. And you know, just in regards to ETH 1.0 being incomplete and rush to market, even Gavin Wood and Charles Hoskinson said that really Ethereum was a proof of concept, right? They didn't even know the thing was going to work, right? Ibro M, I've used QuickSwap. It's great, but you still have to pay gas fees to go from ETH to Matic. Minty, can you post the links to the spreadsheet? Thanks. Yes, I will do that. I will do that after this stream. Honestly, I'm going to be real with y'all. I've been up since like 5 a.m. this morning, so I'll probably do it tomorrow. So be patient with me. Come back to the video tomorrow, maybe around noon, and all the links will be in the description. Okay. Okay. Last bit, and then we'll wrap up. Our ERC20 Converter is a tool that will allow issuing organizations and their users to handle ERC20 token migration to Cardano. It is designed for token issuers, organizations that wish to enable the migration of their tokens to Cardano, and their users, token holders, to use the tool to move their ERC20 tokens to the Cardano network. Users can convert their Ethereum tokens in just a few clicks. And when moved across, these tokens will be translated into a special native token on Cardano that has the same value and works just like an ERC20. Additionally, if the user wishes to do so at a later stage, they can move their tokens back to the source network by burning them on Cardano. Two-way convertibility is baked in. We'll soon spin up a version of the ERC20 Converter tool on a dedicated testnet. IOG Global is currently working with partners for migration to Cardano, and Singularity Net will be the first of these. So, and here's an image of what that dashboard will look like. Figure 2, ERC20 Converter dashboard. It's going to be as easy as clicking a couple buttons. Like, I'm telling y'all, this is what people are sleeping on. And this is why, you know, a few of us in Cardano have said it's not far-fetched to say that we could see an exodus from Ethereum to Cardano. Look how easy this is about to be. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. Our goal is to support many tokens to create possibilities for business deals. So further down the road, with a variety of tokens, the ERC20 Converter will act as a bridge between blockchains, and this will promote effective cross-chain communication. So very, very, very interesting stuff, y'all. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Ibro M, and Ibro is pronounced Ebro. Got you, Ebro. Ebro. Okay, I'll remember that. Creole, yeah, those ETH fees are criminal. It is. It should be a criminal offense. Ebro M, I'm bullish on ADA, watching Charles AMA. He and Gavin have got a vision of crypto built around first principle thinking. Yes. I think Gavin would, if you haven't just gone and listened to Charles talk or Gavin talk, they paint the vision. You know, they paint the vision. And I'm just so excited for Cardano and Polkadot. These pair chains, as I said, in Polkadot Decoded, they're around the corner. I mean, maybe within the next couple weeks. So exciting times. It's going to be an incredible summer. Everyone stick in there. I know The market is down. Our portfolios are cut in half right now. It's not fun to look at, but stay locked in. Minty, can you post the links to the spreads? Oh, I already read that. Did I already read that one? Yeah. Can you post the links to the spreadsheets, please? Yes, Minty, I will. I definitely will. Ebro M, yeah, the spreadsheet would be useful. Creole, yes, we'll post links in description. Yes, everything. And you know, that's one thing that we like to do on this channel. We want to empower people to do their own research and, you know, form their own opinions and make these exit plans and strategies and do it all with confidence. So as usual, everything will be linked below so you can continue your research on all of this. And y'all, that's all I have for y'all today. I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Is that just me? Yeah, this was a long one and I'm sweating right now. Okay, y'all, I'm going to play a little bit of music, sip on my wine, and call it a night. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe. I know we already have some subscribers here on the chat. Thank you so much for joining. And I meant to pull our subscriber list and shout everyone out. I will be sure to do that next time because we really appreciate you all. Join the Discord if you haven't joined. Creole Cardano's ERC20 Converter is a game changer. It's absolute game changer. And people are absolutely comatose on it right now. Whew. The next few months, y'all, it's gonna be a wild ride. You know, I was listening to Crypto Banter today. One of the people on there was saying we could go lower. You know, maybe 30.29 wasn't the bottom of this dump. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, and I meant to talk about, I don't know, surely this may not be new news, but the kind of the whole conspiracy about the intentional attack on Bitcoin and, you know, I think it was a Reddit thread and all of that stuff about trying to get someone liquidated. And I mean, this person said it, he, she, they, them, they basically said what was going to happen, and it happened. But again, it kind of goes back to when I was talking about in my last live. We tend to have a lot of these tinfoil hat moments and conspiracy theory moments within the space, but sometimes this stuff is like, you know, it really is insiders making moves. It really is manipulation. It's intentional attacks on crypto and Bitcoin in the space. Like, this stuff happens. It's not all tinfoil hat. So Ebro M, Charles always gives props to the guys at Ergo too, and they've got good links with AGI. I think these projects are more solid than some of these other card named projects. And let me speak on that real quick while we have a little moment here. I'm personally, and I've said this in my Discord, I'm not participating in any token sales or any of these projects that aren't what's the word I'm looking for? That aren't birthed buy Cardano smart contracts. I'm not buying ERC20 tokens that are Cardano projects. Not for me personally. If I miss out on gains, that's just what it is. I'm gonna wait for the projects who are being patient and waiting for Plutus and, you know, the smart contracts. That's me personally, but, you know, do what you want to do for sure. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Have a good night.